Hello everyone, how you guys doing? Hopefully you guys are having a wonderful day, and today we are here with a video on a RuneScape update post that I'm excited to talk about. For those that don't know, I do at least once a week videos on the updates over on my Patreon, but typically on my main channel, I only like to talk about the ones that really intrigue me, and this one this week really caught my eye because I've been clamoring for it for so long at this point. So, gonna go ahead and talk about that. The update post that I am referencing is the client features and the upcoming testing that is to come with them. So excited for this. New client features. If you follow the channel for a while, you know that I have been badgering Jagex to please just update their client. I understand that RuneLite is what everyone uses and it has so many cool features, but at the end of the day, there's not as much control over RuneLite, and that is one of the fundamental problems that we have to deal with. RuneLite's always going to get more and more features, and are those features good for the game? Do we really want them? Who knows? But if Jagex can get that under their control and they can start doing their own stuff in-house, then this sets up the groundwork for something big. With this post, Jagex is acknowledging these problems are within the game, and they're trying to take a hold of it, which is just something I love to see. They mentioned that they are hiring people internally and externally to help them out, which is just beautiful. That implies that there's some sort of future outlay for what is to come, which they do go on to mention in the blog post is their priority, is the long-term ability to grow this client. They do mention in the blog post that they have been working on this for over 12 months, or at least that's how long the groundwork has been built up. Why they haven't told us, I think it's pretty obvious, because at this point, if they're only announcing the first batch of features and it's been about a year, we would have been just really eager and just biting at the bit to be able to see what was to come, and to only have what we're going to have in this update blog, it wouldn't have been enough for us. And that's okay. They can do this stuff behind the scenes. I'm perfectly fine with it. And I'm glad that they're laying this all out there and being transparent, so at least we know what's going on. A few things before we get into the nitty-gritty of the features. One thing is that they are working with the, I guess, developer or owner, or however you say it, Adam of RuneLite, so that is nice. I know that they have been kind of intertwined in the past. Obviously, Jagex and RuneLite need to see eye to eye and have the features be, you know, what the people actually want to an extent. And so they've had communication, and it's nice to see that going forward, this isn't going to be some standoff between the two and they can actually help each other, which is great. Also, beyond that, they mentioned that the Steam client will be the one that they are testing these features out on. RuneScape has recently come out on Steam, and it's never really killed the numbers game over there. There's an area of which you can see how all of the games are performing and live players, and obviously with everyone on RuneLite, Steam isn't going to see those numbers, and so people may think that it is lacking, and so I think that, you know, to be able to boost the Steam numbers would be great. As far as the features that they are bringing in this first update batch, the first is the enemy HP bar, kind of just displayed in whatever corner of the screen that you like, mouse over tooltips, regeneration timer, HUD, along with that, chat timestamps and chat history on logout/world hop. These two are really nice. I think that your chat history deleting every time you world hop is pretty annoying, especially as an Iron Man that does like a lot of world hopping methods. There'll now be overlays for your attack style and stat boost that you can turn off and on if you'd like, fishing spot indicators, client window settings, and a Chambers of Xeric helper. I don't know to what extent that'll have, but I do know that them going after Chambers of Xeric and making it a priority is really nice. It means that they're actually going to care about, you know, even the mid and late game aspects of this, not just the easy player entry points that usually Jagex will go through. Because, I mean, it makes sense, honestly. To get the low-level people access means that everyone has access to it. But at the same time, there are more important things like Chambers of Xeric that will need fixed sooner, so I appreciate them acknowledging that. A couple others are the anti-drag setting, ground tile markers, which I think is just amazing, and infrastructure for future milestones. I don't know what all that entails, but I'm sure that they have good plans for that going forward. Going through those settings, it's not anything revolutionary, of course. These are all just settings that RuneLite has, but they are things that, as we integrate into the main game, I could see myself going back to the main client, which is ultimately where I want to be. Some of the commonly asked questions were, why isn't there a pull for these features? And Jagex essentially states what most people would say, and that's because RuneLite is what everyone's using. The people have spoken, they already say that RuneLite is the way to go, so if all the player base is on RuneLite, and these are the fundamental features of it, then obviously people enjoy it, and if you can turn these features on and off, it doesn't really matter. They also go on to mention that third-party clients still can exist and be a part of the community as long as they adhere to the guidelines. This is something that I think will become more and more blurry, because sure, right now, you don't want to kick people off RuneLite, but long down the line, when Jagex has most of these things integrated into their client that RuneLite has, what's the point of these other clients other than to maybe give you a step up on the average player? And for that, I think that this will eventually turn into a little gray area, but that will come with time, a lot of time I'd imagine, because it doesn't seem like this is going to be anything that's sorted out relatively soon. And they also mentioned that they didn't want to announce this a lot sooner because they thought they would have gotten everyone's hopes up and we would have been disappointed, which is, to be fair, typically how it goes. Usually communities just get their hopes up, set the bar way too high, and then whenever something's released, they're disappointed, when in reality, it's still probably a good thing. They just had too high of expectations, so I totally understand it from that regard. What I see from this is that Jagex is trying to take control of their game to a certain extent, and I thank them greatly for that, because if they start to do that, it will improve not only the quality of life and the way that people should be playing the game, but it will also improve other aspects of it, like the Steam client, the mobile client, different things that RuneLite wasn't going to be able to do, and those will bump up other numbers and just allow more people to play the game in a manner which they enjoy. So that is a good way to go about it. I don't see anything wrong with that. It's always felt wrong to me that whenever a player plays RuneScape, at some point in their progression, they'll find out that the best way to play the game is on this external client that you have to Google a website and hopefully you don't go to the wrong one, and then go there, download their client, play with their cool features, but don't go to any other clients that might have really OP features, but also no one really plays the regular client. It's just so blurry and it doesn't really make a ton of sense from an outsider's perspective. Something that's really been controversial for the last, 4 to 5 years, however long these clients have been in effect, is, where is their status within the game? Should they be allowed? What is too OP? What isn't OP enough? What should be added? There's so many different questions, and when each of these clients answers them in their own different way, then you're just going to get a lot of variance, when in reality, most people should be playing the game on the base client, doing what Jagex intended the player to do. And they've lost control of that, obviously, with these clients, but with these clients, they have gotten a good understanding what the players like, so it isn't all bad. It actually is pretty helpful. From there, they can take what they'd like and then put it into their game, which seems to be what they're doing right now, and is why I'm so excited going forward, because I like the trajectory going ahead. Whenever it's this wild, wild west of clients, I just don't feel as stable about the game. But if there was just this one shining light of the RuneScape client being amazing, then I would be so much more confident. Jagex has shown very little to me in the past that they were ever going to rein back on these client features, and this is the first step in that progression. So yeah, that is going to be it for this update video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like. Any thoughts on this update going forward and what you think of it, would love to know down below in a comment. And on top of that, if you want to see more videos like this as soon as they go live, make sure to subscribe. And with that said, hopefully you guys have a wonderful day, and peace.